thank you so much for making time for me. You know, what we're going to talk about, I think, is something that's perfect timing. Because, as you know, one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time just recently lost a member, uh, is on tour. And with the fact that everybody has been apart for the last 2 years, it's their music that helps bring people together. You guys have, I would call, a celebration of bringing fans together in an exhibit. What exactly is this exhibit called? And of course, for folks who don't know the logo, who's the band too?
We are thrilled to be able to have snagged this for our community. The Rolling Stones have curated and created the Rolling Stones Unzipped, an exhibition. It's toured about 9 or 10 cities in the world: London, New York, Sydney, Tokyo, and oh my God, Kitchener. And it's a comprehensive show. It's in 4 floors of our building, over 10,000 square feet, and it's consumed our building. We have a festival around the community with Ronnie Wood Art Exhibition as well, and other associated events and so on. Um, and the show is it takes you through Edith Grove, where the young Rolling Stones, the original band members, lived, many of them. And again, created by the Rolling Stones, so this is as authentic as it gets, and it's a pretty disgusting, horrendous place that they lived. And there's a collection of guitars. There's a vintage recording studio. I find that there's a reverence when people walk up to Charlie's 1965 drum kit. There's costumes, many costumes. I had no idea. I've been to many, many Stone show. I had no idea Mick was wearing Prada and Dior and so on. There's Martin Scorsese narrates a segment on their influence on film. On and on and on. It's very, very comprehensive.
How did Kitchener get this? And congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you, Rudy. I think it was just we were a little bit tenacious in pursuing it once we heard it was out there, and we had to build. This began 2.5 years ago, and we had to build our credibility with the band manager and her team. And we punch over our weight, I feel, and we've had some pretty cool things um, at our fairly young organization. We're only 17 years old, and yeah, we I think in the end it was easier for her to say yes to me than to put up with my emails.
I love it. Now, of course, there are Stone fans, there are Stone fans, there are Stone fans, and then there are mega diehard Stone fans. Is this the kind of show for those mega diehard show, fans that would can come to this and go, "Oh my goodness, I did not know this."
100%, 100%. As I saw this took 2 months to load in, and as I saw it come to life, something new every day it was installed, and I started seeing things. And I'm in the middle of that. I'm a Stones fan. Stones fan. I think you had 5 of them there. I'm probably three. Um, there are things here I had no idea. I mentioned the clothing and so on, but just seeing some of their diaries and there are things here for sure. The largest Stone fan would come across and say, "I had no idea." Um, I do think that there's also the other end of that spectrum, if you will. If you're not a Stones fan, this is a snapshot of the last 60 years of pop culture. I mean, they began in 62 and Kennedy assassinations and women's lib and civil unrest and the Vietnam War, and all of that was a backdrop to many of their songs and lyrics and album covers. And I started to see that as I went through. And with Charlie's passing, it's the beginning of the end of that era. And so it's more than just the Rolling Stones. I mean, there's 7 original Warhols here. They start to talk about the album artwork and so on, and Sticky Fingers, of course, was created by Warhol. So it's very comprehensive. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but it's a pretty amazing show.
No, you just mentioned about Charlie's passing. How this puts even a more importance to me to have this because eventually we're not going to have all the members anymore, and I feel like this exhibit is a way to keep the legacy going.
Absolutely. And I do, as I mentioned, the reverence of people of how they approach the drum kit. And I did that the first time I walked by it as well. I think, and to the top, when you mentioned that they're still on tour, I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, that they were, I was fortunate enough to see them in Austin a couple of Saturdays ago. They're awesome. Like
Yeah.
Mick's voice was great. He was prancing around that stage. The staging, as you know, was unbelievable. And they're still out there and they're still producing music. And yeah, and that I think with Charlie's passing, there was that the planets aligned for us. And I don't mean to, I would never want to take advantage of Charlie's passing. In fact, we
No.
pulled all of our promotion at the time. Um, but I think it's reminded people that the era is beginning to come to an end and they may want to come and see this.
What do you think it is about the Stones from 1962 to today? Why do you think that they have not just lasted as long as they have, but be respected? And the fact that there are people like I've probably seen the Stones, I would say maybe 6 or 7 times. Okay. There are people who can say they've seen them thousands of times and will continue to do that. Why do you think that is the case?
I I think, in my opinion, I
Yeah.
feel there was a turning point around the late 80s, 89, I think was the Steel Wheels tour.
Yeah.
And I feel that there was a real, that's when they became a superstar band, if you will. I think something changed then. Maybe it was the way they were managed. T-shirts were invented, the merchandising was invented and so on. But they also continued to change with the times. And you know, some girls reflected, that album reflected the music of that era. And but I think the biggest thing, Rudy, they're still going. I mean, that they're still relevant in that regard. And I saw them in Burroughs Creek north of Barrie a couple of summers ago with my, at the time, 22-year-old daughter. And she was excited to go and she'd seen them once before. And they were relevant to her and to an old person like me, and there was even older people than me in the vehicle that went up there. So it's their staying power and they're continuing to rock and roll.
I was lucky enough to see them at Sarstock, and of course, Scotiabank Theatre, formerly when it was the Air Canada Centre, saw them several times. I miss the days like that where a band can just literally walk on stage, perform for 2, 3 hours, and walk off the stage, and you feel fulfilled. To me, that's where the connection is.
Yeah, 100%. And um, I don't know if I've ever been to a Stones concert where people sat down. I mean,
Yeah.
they're my kryptonite. I mean, I have to stand up and apologize to the person behind me, but they're already standing. You have to move, you have to dance, and it's infectious. Their music is infectious.
Now, please tell me that you have like a little gift shop there too, so we can pick up some Stones items, T-shirts, or anything like that.
Yeah, of course we have that. And as I mentioned, the Ronnie Wood art exhibition, I had no idea how prolific he is as an artist. And we have about 50 of his original works in a different location up in Waterloo, about a kilometer from here. But yeah, the Rolling Stones merchandise store has all of the things you would expect from hats similar to what you're wearing. Although that's an awesome hat, I love that one.
Thank
And,
you.
um, uh, we had some fun. We created a jigsaw puzzle. I've seen the Stones about 24 times, 23, 24 times. So we took all my ticket stubs. I actually have them right here, and we made them into a jigsaw puzzle. So that's kind of fun. And yeah, there's some cool things there. You know, the thing that's really wonderful that I bought right away is the black tongue that they've issued for Charlie's passing. It starts their concert, and it's just a white shirt with the black tongue. That's it. And people get that. They've been, a lot of people have been buying that one.
That's amazing. Okay, so where is the exhibit? When does it run from what to what? And how long is it running for?
Yeah, so we are in downtown Kitchener at the corner of King and Queen in downtown Kitchener, the heart of Waterloo region. The show opened a week ago today. It runs until February the 27th. There are details at TheMuseum.ca. I do encourage your followers to consider coming for a night or 2 nights because there's a lot more than just the anchor exhibit. There's a lot to the festival that we've created. And it's kind of a cool place here that I've moved to in Kitchener.
Well, I'm going to suggest because, it's coming up to Christmas. This is a great Christmas gift to give to somebody who passes to see this. Also, you're going to have Christmas to New Year's. A lot of people are going to be off. I think it's going to be great to go there. And then, as we all know, from January to February, things are a little slow, and people are like, there's nothing going on. Where can I go? This is the place to go
100%.
to.
There it is. The Via trains, the Go trains. We got an airport flying from across the country, taking out flights in now. Thank you so much for taking time with me. I really, really appreciate it.
David, thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for bringing something like this to Southern Ontario, to Canada. And no, you know what? Rolling Stones, they're going to live forever. Thank you so much, my friend.
Take care.